What's up, guys? Welcome back to Theory and Theology. Man, oh man. Uh, I got COVID, guys. I got the vid. My gosh. It is not pleasant. So, it's, the night of July 24th. And I got this on the Tuesday night prior. And it is not fun. I didn't even know that I really had it. I thought I was coughing because of vaping or something. I didn't have any other symptoms other than a cough on Tuesday randomly after work. I was like, what is going on? And I think that's when I recorded the episode about happiness and about, like, being able to kind of adjust your own mood. And I was like, you could tell in that recording that, like, my head wasn't really fully clear. It was night when I was recording it too. Here on this podcast, we kind of talk a lot about different types of theories, different cultural aspects, whether it's religion or spirituality or just rituals and traditions that we have in our lives, that we find value in and importance in, that kind of get us through the rat race of things, things that we find brings value to our days and lives. And I don't know, man, this virus has been going around since, I guess, 2020, 2019. And I was pretty shocked that I didn't get it for, like, the whole 2 years. I mean, again, you guys know I work remotely, so I think that contributed. But I was going out often on weekends, and, I did follow the rules, the mask, the, sanitizing and all this type of stuff. And I pretty much, hung out with almost the same people, but did a little bit of traveling and hung out with some people who traveled. And like, I wasn't, like, completely negligent or too careless, but I have been pretty lax, honestly, during this month of July. It's hot a little bit when you're outside, and I'm like, I don't really want to wear a mask. And sometimes when I do go to the gym, which isn't a lot, I'm like, nobody's really wearing masks anymore. I don't want to wear a mask. It does kind of interfere with my exercise. But I feel like, honestly, for me, and I'm just speaking for myself, honestly, for me, it only really, wearing the mask really impacted me the most at the gym. I'd say also maybe walking around if it's, like, for exercise, like walking for exercise or, like, hiking, but like outdoors. But I'd say when I'm doing that kind of stuff outdoors, I wouldn't really have a mask on usually. I'd say only in the gym. That's the only place I realized that I was like, this mask is really not helpful. Like, I don't travel that much, and I have been on a plane maybe twice during this whole pandemic. Once was during 2020. Dude, was it 2020 or 2021? It must have been 2020, snowboard season, when I went to Taos, New Mexico with some friends, and then went to Vegas I went also to Vegas in October, and then again Easter of 2022 Easter, and 2021 October for Vegas Pride. And so, yeah, I've been on 3 flights since, and I believe I had my mask on the 3, but Yeah, I don't know. Like, this, I don't know. Like, I don't remember, honestly. I'm trying to think if I had the mask, didn't have the mask. I mean, I'm for sure I've always carried them with me, but as far as like that last weekend, I was at San Diego Pride, but people will easily say, "Oh, you got it from Pride," but it's like I wasn't really at the festival. I was at the parade, but then it's like I thought about it and I'm like, well, I was freaking all over the place. I was at a hotel and I went to gas stations. I got water a couple times at the gas station and got some Uber Eats deliveries to the hotel and went to the hotel lobby and I went in my friend's car and went in some Ubers or Lyfts or whatever and what other places I went to the gym, used a shower at the gym, went to the skate park, was outside, went to an outside seating area at a bar, went to, the parade. I was there like 90 minutes, went inside a friend's house for like 10 minutes, that kind of stuff. So I was kind of popping all over the weekend, and, it could have come from any of those things. Just the most interesting part to me was that I found out on Thursday is when I started testing positive, even though Tuesday the symptoms started to occur. Wednesday I was the sickest. Wednesday morning when I woke up, I logged into work and I was like, I'm just going to work. And some reason I decided against coffee because I realized I was maybe getting a little sick, getting a little cold, maybe I thought, because that cough from Tuesday night hadn't disappeared. And I was like, man, I'm getting like more symptoms, I think. And I was just feeling tired and my head kind of hurt. And I was like, I don't really feel fully hungry because I was about to like make breakfast and shower and do like my whole morning thing. And even when I woke up, I was like, I don't feel as energetic as I'm used to, as I had been, because Tuesday was a great day. I felt good. I felt great. I had energy. I was like excitable. I was really, really, really like into the day. Like I was working on my websites and everything, and like this was like right after work, and I was like sitting on the couch like working on these sites, and I'm like, why am I coughing? But my energy was good. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then like watch some Sopranos with my mom, and we had like steak and veggies, and that was like the last dinner that I had that was normal, and it didn't taste weird, nothing. I just ate it, and I was like, all right, like get on with the night. And I decided against dessert the whole weekend before Tuesday when I was out and about at for Pride and my friend's birthday and hanging out with friends and stuff. The whole time before, I was like feeling fine. The only thing I felt that was maybe out of the norm for me was I was sweating like profusely. And I remember mentioning that to a friend. I was like, why am I sweating so much? But so that's what makes me think maybe there was something going on before that. But I don't really know because I'm not used to being like outside in the city like that. Like it's been a long time since I've been like outside around that much blacktop and like people, like usually when I'm outside it's like at the beach or like at the park or hiking on trails, like in nature a little bit more, not so much like in the middle of like the city, like actually walking around where there's like a lot of people. So I felt like really sweaty, and I wasn't drinking or anything like that. So, I mean, I was definitely, having edibles and stuff like that. But I felt like I was hydrated. I was well fed. So it was just a little odd for me to have all that going on. And I was drinking, like those, I don't know if they were like Gatorades or Pedialytes or whatever that brand is in the square bottle. They have like a lot of brands. I think it was the one that tastes good. To me, Pedialyte doesn't taste good. And there's another one that doesn't taste good. And then there's the one that kind of tastes perfect. Like, it was whichever one that was. And I got like 2 flavors. I was drinking those. I had to do a car urination situation because I took like an hour to park because, pride. And so I was like, shoot, like, there was nowhere to like pull over and like go to the bathroom, and I was like trying to find parking for like an hour that Saturday in the daytime, and I was just like, geez, like, what is up with all this? But have fun. The weekend, it was just the sweaty part that I was just like, what is up with me? But yeah, I was testing negative, even with symptoms, even with the most severe of symptoms. Once it was like Wednesday night, I had the chills. My skin was sore. Like, I was like, why is my skin sore? Like, that never happens. I've never experienced skin pain. Like, it was like pain on my skin. And I had chills and muscle aches. And I wasn't really fatigued, which was weird. And I didn't have like intestinal issues, which was weird. Like, I didn't have like diarrhea or like stomach gurgling or whatever. I felt like I could eat just fine, but then when I went to try to eat, I was like, nothing smells normal or tastes like something that it is. Like, I tried to eat, my mom makes this zucchini bread. I tried to eat that. This was like, I don't know, Wednesday or something, when I was filling out my worst, and I was like, I took like a bite and I chewed it for probably almost 10 minutes. I did an Instacart delivery from Sprouts, and I ordered a whole bunch of food that I couldn't even eat. I ordered some soups and things, and I was like trying to eat like this soup. I think it was from Ralph's, actually. The first delivery was from Ralph's because I wanted that Ichiban beef ramen, because that, whenever I get sick, that's kind of something I crave, just like the salt and like the flavor and the heat from the soup broth. And I know it's not healthy, but it's like, usually when I'm sick, I don't necessarily eat healthier. Like, I kind of do, but kind of just keep it like broths and soups and things. This was supposed to be short, but it might be lengthy because I'm trying to like run through the whole distance of this whole experience that has not been fun for me. So yeah, Wednesday I took off work. By 8 o'clock I was logged in a little before 8, and then by 8:45 I was already like done. So I didn't even work a full hour that morning, and I was like, dude, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I told my boss that I tested negative for COVID. I think it was that day. I don't know, I'm mixing it up now, but I feel like I took a COVID test Wednesday, tested negative, and I was just so confused because I was starting to feel worse and worse and worse. But like I mentioned, I had all those symptoms, couldn't really eat properly. My head was pounding. It was like the worst headache I've ever had, to my knowledge. Like, the closest I could describe it to would be, like when you haven't eaten for a really long time and you get that really bad headache, and then like even after you eat or hydrate or do everything that you can to kind of get back on track, it just doesn't go away till you go to bed and then wake up, and then it's just perfectly fine and gone. Like, because I don't really take a lot of medicines, like store medicines and stuff, and so I just was like, well, like, if this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. Because I like to know, I mean, it sucks, but like, I like to know how sick I am. Like, usually, unless I'm having like vomiting or diarrhea or something, I usually won't take much for it. Now, when it comes to sleep, I'm like, I don't really want to be like coughing and my nose dripping all over the place and stuff, if because that's gonna keep me up. And so, usually when it comes to bedtime, to sleep, I might take something. So I think Tuesday, after work, when I started the cough, I took like a half a spoon of some kind of cough syrup, and it didn't really help. I did that two other times. I want to say it was Wednesday and sometime on Thursday. I took a half a spoon of a different cough syrup. And I mean, we have like medicines in this house that they're not even like, they're like expired and stuff. It's like none of us really use this stuff. We just like have it. We're more of like tea people. Like we will pound tea. That's usually where we go. We go to tea, and my mom likes soups, and she cooks and makes broths and soups and things like that. And generally, that's usually how we get by. We don't really tend to do a whole lot of like medicine for all kinds of things. I was kind of raised with it. It's not really like too much of a taboo. It's just a preference, I'd say. But for me, like, you know, if I don't really know what's in something, I do get a little apprehensive. Like I mentioned, I do eat like artificial stuff like Ichiban ramen and like Top Ramen, like not Top Ramen, but like Ichiban brand, or is this Sapporo brand? Is Ichiban, I think, yeah. Anyways, that brand is my favorite. I think the quality of the noodles, even though it's not real, the quality is better. It doesn't get all like weird and taste like plastic or foam. It tastes like actual noodles, even though it is pretty artificial and a lot of like weird stuff in it. But I'll eat that kind of stuff, I'll eat it because, sometimes I'm just like, I just want something that's like 400 or 500 calories. That's simple. You can make it within 5 minutes and you're good to go. But I try not to do that on a regular basis anymore. I kind of save it for when it's like just for the calories, just for the quick calories. And that was kind of the goal with this, was like, it's something that I know that I like, so I'll have it for the quick calories. And so yeah, didn't really appeal to me. The soup from Ralph's did really appeal to me. I took like maybe 4 bites, and that was like forced. I think I'm trying to remember what I ate. I should be able to remember because I didn't eat that much, honestly. Since that steak on Tuesday, I haven't hardly eaten anything of great significance. Oh, I had pho on that Wednesday morning. Once I called off work, I ordered pho. I mean, I order a lot of food. I know it's expensive, but like, whatever. And my head is really foggy. I don't want to blame that on COVID because I've been kind of like, vaping. It doesn't really matter. I'm not working anyways. And so yeah, Wednesday I had those symptoms all the way through to like Thursday, and sometime Thursday, probably close to morning or noon, I finally tested positive, but the test wasn't like super clear. It's the home test that has like the red line. If it's just the red line, then that means that you're negative. And if it's the red line with a little bit of the purple or a lot of the purple, any amount of purple means that you're positive. And so yeah, the first positive test that I had was Thursday, after I'd already had 2 days of symptoms. So if you think about it, if I did get this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday from any of my Friday, Saturday, or Sunday events, and then I didn't test positive till Thursday. Now, mind you, oh yeah, I forgot. So Monday, before all this, I had popped into the office. I'd also gone to a McDonald's for like an hour to like do some work and like, just be somewhere where there's Wi-Fi and seating and air conditioning and, coffee. They screwed up my coffee. I just wanted a black freaking coffee, and they put sugar in it, and I took like 4 sips and tossed it out because I had to go drive through traffic. So I was like, I want a little bit of a coffee kick, but I just like black coffee. I'm like, I don't need more sugar in anything. I'm like, I've learned to just drink stuff black because I'm like, I try not to add sugar to things because it's just extra sugar that's definitely not needed. Like, especially if I'm not always eating healthy anyways, like why add sugar to something that I'm literally just there for the effect of it. And I do, now that I usually drink it black, I do like black coffee when it's good. Like some instant coffee and stuff is just not good. So I get it when you want to dress it up with everything, but I mean, McDonald's coffee is like actually pretty decent most of the time, so I can drink it black. But they screwed it up and put a bunch of artificial sugar in it, and I was like, ew. And I just took some sips and threw it away loudly. I just like threw it in the trash can. But I was like, whatever. I don't even know, man. I was just having a day. I was like not looking forward to the upcoming drive. I knew I had to drive like 2 hours or maybe up to 3. But it was only really like 2.5 hours, so that was fine. And yeah. So Thursday I test positive, but the test wasn't very obviously positive. Friday I take the test again. By Thursday night I was feeling fine. I took a half of an aspirin to get rid of the remainder of the headache, and that was the majority of the symptoms gone. At that point I was just trying to eat, and I was eating fruit and eating a lot of fruit. I ate so much freaking fruit. Like containers and like vegetable juice. One of my friends mentioned vegetable juice, and I was like, I forgot that I love that stuff. Stuff like V8, but I was getting groceries from Sprouts at this time, so I got a delivery of like a vegetable juice and a kombucha, and it was like ginger, turmeric, black pepper shots, and a bunch of other stuff, just different types of fruits in the little plastic containers. And I just was taking bowls of fruit and just like eating it like every couple hours because I was getting hungry, because I was only eating fruit. And so, but it was delicious. Like all I really wanted was fruit. I ate some vegan almond ice cream. I ate some vegan strawberry mochi ice cream. I was like, I just need calories of something that I can actually like eat, because everything just tasted just like weird. Like anything that had anything, I noticed anything kind of artificial tasted the weirdest. Or animal products, like, so eggs tasted weird. Anything artificial tasted really strange. Anything with salt tasted weird. Anything with artificial sugar tasted weird. It almost tasted like, I don't know, like it's the best I can explain it is like if you've had like veggie meats, like those types of like artificial meats, but they're like vegan and organic or whatever. And but then like you have a brand that you like, say it's like meatballs, like vegan turkey meatballs or something, and then you switch to another brand and you're like, okay, I want these vegan turkey meatballs instead, or like they don't have the ones you like, so you get a different brand, and then you eat it and it's like, here's some vegan turkey meatballs. That's the best I can describe it, is like when you switch a brand to something else that's like, okay, the ingredients are different, so now it tastes a little different, even though you kind of know the flavor that they're generally going for. I wouldn't say it's like turkey meatballs or something, because like usually when you buy turkey, like real meat, it usually tastes pretty much the same, other than like quality differences and stuff like that. But usually you're not usually able to tell the difference between brands if it's just like the normal brands that you see. But yeah, when it comes to like maybe like veggie meats or something, like veggie bacon or something like that, or veggie sausage or something like that, where you get like a version of it and then you switch to a different version, that's the best I could describe it. Was like you could tell what it was, but it tasted like a little like the ingredients weren't the regular ingredients that I was used to or something. So that was just not pleasant, because I was like, okay, I had like boiled eggs and then like they tasted burnt for some reason. They had like this smoky yolk flavor, and I was like, what is this? I've just been kind of like whatever, like not really in the mood to really eat most types of stuff, but just like I didn't even eat super healthy stuff. Like I ate like a TV dinner or something because I'm like, dude, it's 700 calories. Like it'll get me the calories. Then the rest of the day just like eating fruits. It's like, because I'm like, I need food. Like I've like noticeably felt my weight dip, and it's not like in a pleasant way, and I'm like easily winded when I'm walking around and stuff because I'm not really like eating a lot. So even something as simple as like getting up, going to the bathroom, washing up, going to the kitchen to grab like a juice, washing the dishes, and then going outside, getting some fresh air, then coming back into my room, I'll be a little bit winded doing that, and it's like I literally didn't do anything. But just that, I was pretty sweaty Thursday. Friday I took another COVID test. It still was positive, but it was like bright positive. And I think, I can't remember if I took one Saturday. It's Sunday now. I haven't taken one. I'm gonna take one tomorrow around noon, maybe a little before noon. I'm off work tomorrow too. And I work remotely and I'm isolated. And Saturday night I requested work off for Monday because I realized, when I was talking, I was losing my voice. So this is kind of my test as well, to test and see if I can talk for more than like 2 minutes without my voice starting to go completely hoarse, because half my job other than writing is talking, and if I can't talk, I can't really be working. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but I feel like I still have tonight, I still have Monday, so by Tuesday I don't know, like kind of how I feel. And I still have like over 50 hours of PTO I can take off, and over, or 80 hours of sick leave. And so, but it's not going to take that long. The interesting part was that the recovery, I mean, I'm not fully recovered. I haven't tested negative yet. And I'm still symptomatic. You can probably hear it in my voice. But I don't feel like crap, absolute crap. I just feel like kind of like crap. Saturday night, I think it was around 1:30 a.m. It's technically Sunday morning, but Saturday night, because I was still awake. I kind of had a little vomiting happen. Now, that for me was a little confusing. And it seemed like it was acidic vomit. It wasn't really anything I was specifically vomiting out. And it was just a little bit, and it was kind of triggered by like this feathery kind of like feeling deep in my throat that I was trying to cough. And I'd been laying down and sleeping and had some really weird experience like right before that, where I was like asleep, like half asleep, and I felt like this loud sound. Like I was like, it just felt like there was like this loud like noise of something. But I was like like half asleep, and I kind of half woke up, and I was like looking at my hand, and like there's a, like, I don't know how to describe this house, but like there, even with the lights out, the room is light enough that you can like still kind of see through the Venetian blinds. You can still kind of see. And so I was like, what is going on? So I, was kind of like, what's that sound? Like, there's like something that just felt like a really loud noise. in my ears, and I was just like, what? But then when I kind of like came to and I was like fully awake, and then I realized, oh, maybe it was just the fan. Because I've had this fan on for like days now. I just like the moving air in the room. But I was like, what is that sound? It sounded like the same fan sound, but it was just a lot louder. And so I kind of just left it alone for a couple minutes, and that's when I had that weird throat feeling. That made me feel like I was needing the cough, but it was from like a weird place. I was like, that feels weird, because it feels like there's something like in my throat, almost like deep in my throat. So I tried to cough, and it didn't like dislodge or come out or whatever, and I drank some water. But right before that, like before I had gone to sleep, because this was like 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 a.m., and around 10 p.m., because I'm trying to keep my weekend late schedules, because I'm like, whatever, like, I'm home anyways, like, I'm just gonna stay up late. So I was up at 10 p.m., had some like fruits, snacks, mostly fruits. I had like, no, it wasn't mostly fruits, it was grapes, like a little bit of like mixed nuts, like some kind of seeds and nuts mix, some like little cheese cubes, I think like 5 cheese cubes, a whole bunch of saltines, probably like 10 or 6 saltines or so. And then I had some little, like, I washed it down with 2 little sips of that, like, ginger turmeric shot, and I think there's something in it. There's something else in it, and I think, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be refrigerated, and I'd had this thing open since maybe sometime Wednesday or Thursday, and this was late Saturday. And so I think that's what it was. I don't really think it was COVID. I think the vomiting came from drinking that thing that had been sitting there, and there was just barely, it was like baby sips. Like I took 2 little baby sips. That's all that was really left in there, and I shook it up and took the baby sips, and just because I was like feeling like, okay, like it's got ginger in it, so if there's anything in the cheese that's gonna like affect me or anything, because I was still worried about like having some kind of stomach issue, because usually when I'm sick I have stomach issues of some kind, and so I think that created the stomach issue. I don't think it was COVID, but it's hard to tell. And then I took like some antacids like right after that, like after like washing out my mouth and stuff. I took some antacids, and then eventually I fell asleep. It must have been probably like 2 a.m, and then I woke up at like 6:30, and then woke up again around like 9:30 a.m, which is so late for me, but I guess I just fell back to sleep automatically. And I did have some trouble sleeping, Saturday night. Some reason, maybe because I stayed up so late, and I don't know, maybe I was just pushing a little too much, but I really don't know. I don't freaking know. Like, that was weird. And then I felt weird all Sunday, but so I took it easy. I had fruits in the morning, and then I had some soup for later in the day for lunch. It was like a really light soup. It's got like little bits of rice and chicken and a bunch of veggies, and my mom made it like a few days ago, and it's really bland, but I added some sriracha and salt. She didn't put any salt or anything in it, because the other day I wasn't really eating things that had salt, and so yeah, she didn't put anything in it. And then So I put stuff in it a little bit. It wasn't even a lot. It was like maybe like a cup and a half worth. And then that's all I basically had. I think I had some saltines with it. And then yeah, my energy was off all day. I was a little grumpy. But the most interesting part of all of this for me was my experience with the fruit. Now I haven't had any caffeine since probably Tuesday. Tuesday I didn't have a lot. Tuesday I had caffeine. I had coffee with a little bit of MCT8 oil. And I think I added almond milk. I think it was like a little bit, like maybe probably throughout the whole day I drank like half an inch worth of that, and I was just chipper and wired. I was good. Good energy, good focus. I actually cared about everything. I was really motivated. I attribute a lot of that to the coffee, but whatever. And yeah, so, and I think Wednesday morning at most I might have had a sip of like some green tea. I remember making green tea. I do remember tossing it out because once I signed off work, because I was like, I don't really want to get caffeinated if I'm trying to like rest. Because I had intended to like just go back to bed, but something I found interesting was that I haven't really been tired. Not that I haven't slept, but I haven't been like fatigued, without energy, and I haven't really been tired. And between the fruit that I've been eating, the amount of fruit, which is so much more fruit than what I'm normally used to eating. So between the amount of fruit I've been consuming and the ginger stuff, like I have other ginger related beverages and fruit beverages and vegetable juices and stuff like that. Like I had so much energy. Like I was literally at one point, like I think this was on Saturday, maybe in the afternoon or something. I was so wired. You know how when you're sitting there and you're like shaking your leg? I was literally just like sitting there like shaking my leg and just like wired. And I was just like, man, I wish I could like put all this energy into doing like some podcasting or something, but I can't even barely talk. So that wasn't gonna happen. So I was like, dude, I can't even like put my energy into anything. And I was telling myself, just like relax, like don't, put energy in this stuff, But I'm really not one to really like sitting around watching stuff all day, and I've literally just been laying around watching YouTube since like Wednesday. So that is not an appealing lifestyle to me. It's a little entertaining, but it's also, when it's not as a break from something, I don't like it as much. It's just like I'm killing time and just doing it to try to get better and to keep my mind on something that's, nice. And I've been watching kind of low stress stuff, comedy, listening to music, like whatever. And yeah, so I would say Wednesday was the worst I felt physically. Saturday was the worst I felt kind of like emotionally and energy wise. But yeah, otherwise I haven't felt that bad. But Wednesday was absolutely terrible. I was like, wow, I did not see it getting that bad that quick. Like the difference between Monday night and Tuesday night, and then the difference between Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and the difference between Wednesday night and Thursday night, they were like drastically different. Thursday night almost resembled Tuesday night, just with a more significant cough and some sinus issues and not being able to really talk properly and being like easily winded, and my appetite still wasn't back to normal, but it wasn't like a severe appetite loss. It was just, I just didn't have desire to eat the things that I like and didn't really know what was going to happen if I did. But I wasn't getting nauseous. I wasn't getting like a gag reflex to any of it. It just didn't appeal to me because it didn't taste the way I wanted. So I was like, well, I don't really want to eat any of this. But for some reason, fruits and veggies all tasted exactly as they should. And so I was just eating so much of that. And that's all I really wanted was fruits and vegetables. And that's kind of how I still feel. I really just want fruits and vegetables. I don't really want to eat anything else. But yeah, it's just it's an interesting experience. I don't wish it on anybody. I'm not like happy that I have it, and I was mostly worried I was gonna spread it, because I'm like, dude, how long have I had this, and where did I get it from, and who could I have potentially given it to, considering all the people that I saw between like Friday and Thursday. That's a big gap of time, and I could have gotten it anywhere, even potentially before Friday, but I could have gotten it most likely anytime between Friday and Monday, and then I had opportunities all the way until Thursday when I finally tested positive to be able to spread it. But Monday night to Monday night to now, I've been home the whole time. The only place I've gone is like into the front yard, into the front, out on the front steps, and like gotten some fresh air and stuff. I didn't even go into the backyard, and I didn't even go, there's a whole, like, I've only gone in certain parts of the house. I went into parts of the family room, the living room, and the kitchen and my bathroom, and I haven't gone into the guest bathroom. I think I went into my brother's room because I had some extra clothes in there, and like there's like extra toilet paper and stuff. But yeah, and I think I went in my car because I started my car. But yeah, I didn't go in the laundry room or garage. I didn't go out in the backyard. I didn't go in my mom's room. I didn't go in my sister's room. I haven't gone like in a lot of the rooms or anything. I'm trying to just contain myself, and my mom doesn't seem, sick at all. And we've been in the same house, but I've been wearing a mask, and like we've been at least 6 feet apart and not really being involved, and I haven't really talked much to her because my voice is really weird, so I can't be like screaming across the house or whatever, or responding. And she's like in another room. So yeah, my throat is easily irritated, and my sinuses are a little bit stuffy, but yeah, it's been interesting that that the fruit eating has been really creating a lot more energy than what I'm used to having. Anytime that I've ever been sick, I don't think I've ever had this much energy in my life. And up until 2019, I pretty much had a cold or flu almost every single year. I would get it like maybe once a year. I think there were maybe a couple years when I didn't, but I think overall I usually would get it once a year. At least like a mild cold. Usually in like winters. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just weird because this thing, COVID really probably spreads because it's such a weird set of symptoms. Like I mentioned, Tuesday I felt fine, other than the cough. And, even those days during the weekend when I was, like, sweaty, I was like, well, it's hot outside. It's, like, 80-something degrees. And, like, on, like, the summer streets packed with people. Or, like, when I was, like, sitting in the sun at the park with a friend. And, like, it's like I'm supposed to be sweating. It's hot, So it wasn't, like, that out of the norm. But oh gosh. So yeah, it wasn't that out of excuse me. It wasn't that out of the norm. It was just, sweatiness. And yeah, the fruits were an interesting thing. I wasn't even eating, like, all types of fruits. I was eating mostly strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. I had some oranges, mandarin oranges, some canned fruit, peaches and stuff like that. And I was getting a little, like, I wasn't, like, fully satisfied with my hunger. I wasn't like, okay, this is, like, fully, like, a satiated feeling. After a while, I was like, dude, I probably need to eat again. But I was worried. I was like, I don't want to eat, like, too much fruit because I don't want to get, like, diarrhea or something. And I was like, because I'm not really eating variety here. I'm just eating fruits. But really, it was pleasant to eat them. I was like, I just want to eat this. Like, this is fine for me. It went down fine. It felt fine. It felt good. Like I said, I was, like, freaking wired. And usually I don't eat like that. Like, during my normal days, I'm not, like, just eating fruits and fruits and fruits and fruits like that. Like, I'll usually have maybe at most, like, a bowl of fruit with breakfast. And I'm usually having coffee too, so. But I have been, like, dialing back the carbs for sure. And, like, at least outside of COVID, like, before all of this, I was dialing back carbs at least in a little bit of a way. And the last thing I want to say, I came across an episode by Sadhguru, which I found really interesting. He has a lot of videos about, like, earth preserving. I don't know what the name of this concept is. Let me see if I can find it. So basically, he talks about, oh man, I hope I don't, like, accidentally press play on something. So if I look at my history, I've been watching so much YouTube that I'm just gonna have to be scrolling for a bit now. I've been watching days and days of YouTube. So there's this short that he put out. I don't see the date and I can't really click it, but it's called Which is Better, Fruit or Meat? And he talks about, the energy you would get from fruit and how you probably have to want to eat every 2 hours so you get the benefit from the energy, and then the difficulty you would have is dealing with the hunger, the feeling of hunger while you have all that energy. And it was kind of interesting because I was wondering what was going on with the fruit and the energy, and then I came across this video about fruit and energy, or fruit or meat, but fruit and energy. And then he started talking about, like, water consumption and how, like, I guess he was talking about, like, how people could improve worldwide on water consumption, or water, like, preserving water resources and things like that, and how with eating fruit you eat a significantly smaller, or you would require a significantly smaller percentage of water than you would eating meat. And it's something that I guess it was talking about like, you know, carbon footprints and all of these types of topics that, you know, I never really think too much into that because it's just such a big thing that I'm just like, you know, I try to recycle. I try not to be like wasteful. But you know, like I mentioned, like I've been sleeping with the fan on for like multiple days. I mean, I don't intend to do that when I'm not sick anymore, but it's like I do like it too because it drowns out the sound of the highway traffic because, you know, I'm in LA and there's freaking traffic all the time. But I am kind of getting more used to it again. It was just, you know, I've only really been back for like a little over a month or so it's been kind of a challenge to be like hearing the traffic all the time, but I think now I'm used to it. It just felt loud because I wasn't used to it, and it was kind of disrupting my sleep. I was really getting over like years of having like poor sleep from living with all these wild people. So anything was like impacting my sleep, and so that's definitely improved. But it's something that I'm kind of gonna be playing with these ideas more, surrounding like fruit, even though it sounds like weird. It sounds really weird, but I mean, I've of all the things that have happened in this whole entire process with COVID with me, the only thing I've liked about it is kind of like playing with the ideas about food, because I'm not a dieter. You know, if people don't know by now, you know, I was raised around a lot of Adventists, and Adventists worldwide are known for, you know, their health message. That's part of the religion of anything, you know. They do have a very significant lifestyle surrounding food. Most mainstream Christianity doesn't focus on food as heavily as Adventists do. Some people, you know, some denominations focus on like Coca-Cola, coffee, that kind of stuff. But you don't really see a lot about like different foods or about like not really eating meat. These types of topics are not very common in Christianity. And Adventism, you know, they really do have the traditions surrounding like food. There are a lot of lifestyle based traditions in the Adventist faith that are definitely tied into the religious belief, but if you even take the religion out of a lot of the traditions that you just see on the surface of people doing in Adventism, the people who follow a lot of it, I'm not saying that they're like better than anybody or whatever. Like, definitely that denomination and religion and some people in it, you know, have, you know, there's definitely the judgment and a lot of like ridicule and gossip and things that are just not okay and totally toxic. I'm not saying every church is like that, but that is definitely a flaw. But I do think that there are healthy aspects to it as far as like talking about eating and vegetarianism and veganism and having cooking classes and health classes and, you know, different classes for the community to like learn about like healthcare and how to take care of your body and like live longer. And I'm not sure if it already is. I know Loma Linda is a very big Adventist haven type place, as well as Angwin, California, and Northern California. There are a lot of hubs where the Adventists like to be at, and you know, there's health promoted in those communities. You see a lot of health stores. It's kind of interesting that Adventism is very, I guess, I don't know if I should say the word against, but in a way, I guess technically the religion's kind of against New Age type of beliefs. They're not too into like things like chakras and, yoga, meditation. Not saying that they don't believe in it or whatever, but there is this kind of taboo about it. Yoga and meditation, like if yoga is as exercise and if meditation is more towards like Christian meditation and prayerful, prayer to God meditating, there is kind of this stigma against like Eastern religious thought and against a lot of the kind of westernized like new age type of takings on Eastern thought, and I'm pretty surprised they haven't really merged any of it, but it's almost as close as you would get with a Christian denomination. It's almost as close as you would get as far as like the body mind connection and things like that, but just the delivery sometimes is very poor, and a lot of people don't even know, like if you say Adventism or Seventh-day Adventist and things like that, people a lot of times have no idea what you're saying. They're like, what? And then a lot of people who get jobs in certain places, I've had multiple friends in different healthcare aspects, psychology, nursing, different people trying to be doctors and pastors and things like that. Like a lot of them have come across Adventism and through their work mostly, and a lot of people kind of have the same general consensus that it's like, I don't know about that religion, but they do see that there's a lot of innovation and benefit to the health aspect of it. You guys know how I will go on these Adventist rants like nobody's business. Like I have plenty to say about the religion. There's a lot of beautiful things about it, but it's a little bit much sometimes, just depending on what you're dealing with. But yeah, I'm I've always been kind of interested in those like health topics, but I've never really taken like a direction with it. Because I've usually been, involved with it from like an Adventist perspective, where it was like, I don't really know about this. Like I'm not really too like extremist on things. And it can get to be a little, like, some things just don't appeal to me. I'll just put it that way. Everyone has their preferences, and sometimes when it's like combining religion with food, or spirituality necessarily with like your food, I'm not really into that like rigid spirituality, the type that's like you're spiritual and very judgmental about others from your spiritual perspective. That to me is just I don't want to be doing that. To me it causes too much stress in my own life. I don't feel like it helps connect with people at all. People can sense that from a mile away. Nobody wants to be around you. Nobody will listen to you. Nobody will care about anything that comes from your mouth. And they'll actually fully reject it and want to absolutely go completely the opposite direction. And it's not even like an ego, like, oh, I got this person to do what I do kind of thing. It's just like, if you really do have something that's that valuable, like if you're like, dude, I found a way to get my credit score to like 750, or like I found a way to do this like really fast, you usually want to go tell somebody. It's like, this is good news, this will help a lot of people. I want people to know this, but some approaches just aren't appealing to the masses. You hear it and you're like, oh, I gotta run away from this. Like it's just like, it's almost like when you see like dog poop or like somebody vomiting, you're not like excited by this, you're just like, ew. That's kind of like the impression that it gives. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but once I start and then have some kind of a direction to go to. I'd really like to see how different things impact my mind. I mean, you guys know I like vaping and things like that. Like, I like edibles. Right now, I'm not really having edibles because I've only got like maybe about what's half of 2.5, 1.25 milligrams worth of a hybrid edible left, and I'm basically waiting till I test negative until I order any, because I either have the option of ordering them online and getting them shipped to me, which would take a few days, or I can go to the dispensary, which I'm not comfortable doing because I'm testing positive, or I can order delivery. But the issue with delivery with cannabis products is that you can't really do a contactless one. At least where I live, they don't have contactless because you have to pay in person. Like, they can't just leave it at your doorstep. If I could find an option like that where they leave it at your doorstep and you've already paid, I would do that. But I don't think there's any in the area that I'm at that do that. I don't really know. I mean, I don't really care. Like, I've got like so much cannabis products, it's not really an issue. But yeah, as far as like to sleep, to rest, to eat, it's very helpful for that. And I noticed too with cannabis products, it's easy to take them and then eat healthy. It's also easy to take them and eat like brownies and pizza, but it's easy to have them and then just like sit in front of like a bowl of vegetables and just like eat it. And like, you know, you can get your fill on that. And, you know, that's one way to kind of like, you know, increase your vegetable and fruit intake, is to, you know, get stoned and wait till you get the munchies and just like pig out on vegetables. But I mean, that's assuming that you haven't really eaten your day's worth of calories and stuff. Like, it's easy to go overboard when you have the munchies. Like, I've literally eaten full medium pizzas by myself after eating dinner. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Like, you don't really have like a stop button. It's just like, I will eat this till it's gone. And then like, you're like, oh shoot, I ate that. Like, that ain't normal. That ain't good. But once in a while, it can be fun. But yeah, I definitely gained a lot of weight doing that. For, you know, if you even do it once a week, that's too much. And if you do it every few days, or every couple days, or every other day or something, it's like, dude, that's like too much. And then spending too much too, if you're like ordering while you're stoned. You're like ordering Uber Eats and like, I need like 2.5 burgers and like 3 meals for tomorrow or something. And it's like, oh my gosh, like you can easily spend $60 to $80 on freaking Uber Eats, on like Korean desserts or whatever. It's like, it's so ridiculous. Can you tell I'm talking from experience? But anyways, yeah, I'm recovering. It's just annoying. I'm annoyed that the tests aren't so accurate. I know it's not their fault. I know it depends on the viral load and all this stuff. You know, I'm just annoyed. I'm past the scare of like spreading it. I think I've passed that time limit. It's just kind of weird that like the whole progression of it and how it isn't even, at least for me, wasn't even like a cold or flu, and just kind of came and mostly went like in one swoop, you know. I feel like if I was eating normal, I wouldn't mind just like working, because I work remotely. But because I'm, you know, I wasn't really fully eating normal in the mild little vomit situation. And I mean, it's probably disgusting. Nobody wants to hear about this, but that's how it was for me. That's how it is for me. I'm still testing positive as far as I know. I still have symptoms, as you can hear in my voice, but I've definitely got energy. That's the part that's not too clear. I mean, I have rested a lot too, but I'm not really sleeping in, oversleeping. I think I napped maybe once for 29 minutes and it felt like 3 hours. I was listening to like a meditation and I was like, okay, this might put me to sleep. And I started relaxing and getting restful, and then I kind of woke up and I'm like, oh, it must have been, I think it was like a 4 hour long like meditation video, and I was like, it must have been like 3 hours. And I look and it's like at 29 minutes in, and I'm like, dude, I only was listening to this for 29 minutes. And I listened to some of it too. I was actually doing the meditation, so that means I wasn't actually even sleeping for 29 minutes. But I felt like I slept for 3 hours. Like, I felt very rested. But yeah, this episode has a lot of topics that I would like to expand on. It's just, I haven't recorded anything since, I don't know when, since before last Tuesday, or since I was driving on Monday or something. And so it's been almost a week since I've been able to like talk like a normal person, or at least close to normal. But yeah, I do like physical health related things, and I don't think I've gone too much into those topics, and especially because I wasn't really focusing on it, because I was in like a survival mode for like a year and a half, just kind of like trying to do the basics while dealing with a wild person sharing a wall with me. It was already challenging enough just to get basic rest and like eat healthy, because I was like ordering food so I could have minimal amount of interaction with the people I lived with, because God forbid I have to like go in the kitchen when somebody else was in there, and I was like, damn it, now I have to like talk to them or like be polite. Like, I literally just want to come in here and just leave. Like, I'm not trying to like even say hi or whatever. Like, sometimes it's like just such a hassle. But sometimes when I'm just like doing something, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm not trying to like be involved with others. I'm kind of like that with family too. It's like when I come out of my room and I'm like busy, working on a website or something, and I'm like coming out for a snack, I'm not trying to like have a conversation. I'm like, dude, I'm focused. I'm in my own head, in my own zone. I don't want to be bothered. Like, I don't want to like talk or like engage in conversation or anything. It's like when I want to talk, that's the time for me to talk. When I don't want to talk, I'm usually just like in the zone in my head. But I've still got tomorrow off. I'm gonna read a lot tonight, tomorrow. I mean, it's late, I should sleep, but I'm gonna stay up a little while, read a lot, read a little, I guess. And tomorrow, read some stuff. I did a lot of my finance stuff today. Worked on some of my numbers. Feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good, but not perfect. So, but I'm ready to try to work on Tuesday, and at least that's what I think I'm ready to do at this moment, and see how it goes. I'm taking people's advice and not pushing. My cousin was like, don't go back to work till you're ready, and I'm like, shoot, you're right, let me not push this. But I don't know, I hope this is helpful. I mean, if anyone's wondering what it's like for some people getting COVID, this is how it's like for me. It sounds like the experiences totally vary. I was vaccinated early, like December 2020. I got the booster early. My work forced me to do all this stuff. I don't know if that contributed to me getting it like over 2 years after the fact that people were getting it, or that people knew about it. I don't know if it was working remotely. Like I mentioned, I still went out. I can't really even say what exactly led to me getting it, or if I was even symptomatic during that weekend that I think I got it from, if the sweatiness was a symptom or what. I don't really know, guys. I'm a little, I don't know. At this point, it almost doesn't matter. I feel like once I start testing negative, and then once we make sure my mom is still testing negative, because we know it takes like some days, 5 to 10 days. My 10th day isn't until the 29th of July. So I don't even know like what the symptoms are going to be looking like. It could flare up. I don't really know. Overall, I've been taking it easy. So, I mean, the worst things I've been doing is staying up late and eating the occasional like TV dinner or like instant non-organic unhealthy foods. But I don't know. I don't even want to think the rest of this out loud. I'm just gonna end this for now, because I just wanted to put out a longer one because I have not recorded anything in a very long time, and wanted to test if I could actually talk and record and think. My mind is like okay enough. I mean, it's like almost 11 p.m. at night, so my head's working better than it usually does at this time, but I also have done nothing for days. So I don't really know. All right, with that, thanks for listening.